Today's management gurus and popular psychologists speak about how to manage your life. You don't need to go to management gurus of today or popular psychologists how to manage your life. During the lockdown, you must be getting lots of social media messages how to manage a day, because we are locked down to our families, and how to spend a day effectively. But you don't need to do any of those things. It is enough to follow the style of the most significant management guru in the history of the world, Jesus himself. Jesus was a CEO, chief executive officer of anyone, better than anyone. And from today's gospel passage, just to refresh your mind, two disciples after the Good Friday event on the Easter Sunday, they were walking towards Emmaus. They did not want to go back to Jerusalem, an event that really disturbed their mind. They were sad, they were getting out of that event. And a stranger joins them, Jesus. They did not know who the stranger was. And Jesus joins a conversation and trying to explain to them all that what happened about Jesus with the help of scriptures. And this stranger becomes very friendly with them. And they invited the stranger for a dinner together. And stranger joined, who was Jesus. And at the dinner, at the breaking of the bread, they recognized Jesus. And as soon as they recognized, Jesus disappeared. And this disciple did not go to Emmaus. They went back to Jerusalem to tell the whole event to the people in Jerusalem, the disciples. This is the event that we practice or listen. Now, what do we learn from this passage for us? I'm trying to give you 10 important lessons from this passage. The first lesson, all from Jesus' example. What is this lesson we need to learn? Always take the first step. Jesus took the first step to join their company. We sometimes expect others to join us. But this is Jesus as a stranger joining their company first. So I'll put this one on a stick for you to see so that it is easy for you to understand. So take always the first step to begin the communication. Take the initiative to introduce yourself, to begin a relationship, to begin a communication. Don't wait for others to come to you. Then you will become Maharajas and Maharanis. But go to the people. This is what Jesus did. Jesus joined them. The disciples did not join Jesus. Jesus joined their talking conversation. Second lesson. Second lesson is very important. Listen. What is listening? Jesus knew what they were talking, but he did not tell them, I know what you are talking. He asked them, what are you talking about? And they said, you don't know what happened at Good Friday in Jerusalem to a man called Jesus? You said, what things? Jesus said a lie, pretended he did not know. Why did Jesus do that? Because Jesus wanted them to talk and he to listen. Listening is a great quality. How many of us do listen today? Even now, we are all selective listeners. We listen what we want to listen. But Jesus made them talk and he listened. That's a great quality even today. Third quality, know your message. Know what you are talking. Jesus knew what he was talking. He knew the scriptures well. He knew the message well. He knew the stuff. Sometimes we talk blah, blah, blah. We don't know what we are talking about. This is where Jesus knew exactly all that they were doubting about. He clarified. He knew the stuff. He knew the scripture well. He knew what he was talking about. This is very important quality even today. Before you communicate, learn the stuff. Know it well. Number 4, know yourself. What is knowing yourself? Jesus knew who he was. Probably the disciples having identity crisis. Whether they were really disciples, whether this Jesus was really Jesus the Messiah. Jesus knew who he was. Knowing oneself is the toughest thing today. The longest and toughest journey is a journey within yourself. But many of us take a journey about others. That is easy. But to know thyself, which Socrates said, know thyself, most important thing, even today. So before you start to know others, know yourself well. Jesus knew who he was. Next lesson. Never force yourself. Your ideas, your mentality, nothing. You just leave others free. This is what Jesus did. Jesus pretended he was going ahead. He did not want to join them after he finished the teaching. Then they called him. If they need you, they will call you back. So Jesus did not force himself. Jesus pretended he was going. Jesus was a good actor, must be. He pretended to move ahead. And they called him, come back, come back. Stay with us, for it is evening. He never forced himself his ideas. They wanted him after that. And that's where that idea of strangers become friends. Next subject, next point, relish the company. Relish the company of strangers. Jesus was strangers still even then when they asked him to come and stay with them. They had a meal together, and that too with a stranger. But by this time, the stranger has become a friend to them. So relish the company of strangers. How many of us do relish the company of each other, even in our families? Enjoy. Now we are all confined to our family. Do we really relish each other's company, seeing each other, talking to each other, eating together? Jesus and the people enjoyed together. Next one. Empower your people. What is this empowering people? Don't control them till they die. Once they are able, leave them free. Some of us, parents and all that, even priests and religious, control our formies and children. They are always our novices and juniors. They are always our children. No, even after marriage we control them. No, they are mature people. Leave them free. They can manage. Jesus never controlled those two disciples. Once they were able, once they recognized and empowered and knew who Jesus was, Jesus just disappeared from their midst. Because Jesus knew now they can manage. I don't need to control them. I don't need to teach them. They will manage their life. That is the way Jesus dealt with those disciples. An adult way, mature way. Next point. Value others. Value others. Eighth point. The disciples valued that stranger. Jesus valued that disciples. And the disciples valued each other. Weren't our hearts burning? They recognized the value of each other. We need to appreciate each other. We need to value each other and even, recognize each other. Ninth point, work together. What is working together? Nobody works alone. Nobody lives alone. We Christians are supposed to live and work together. This is what the disciples did. This disciple did not go to Emmaus. They went back to the community of the disciples and they shared with each other and they strengthened each other. So the group, the community was empowered from Jesus and from those two disciples. And they worked together, lived together and shared with each other. So the community is built up by sharing and talking. And the last message, very important. Take life as a journey. The whole incident took place on a journey. Our life is a journey. Our life is a journey. In this journey, we will meet several people. Several things will happen. Even lockdown is a journey. It's part of our life. And take it as a journey and part of our journey of our life. And then we will grow. We will grow into maturity. Now, do you need to practice all the 10? Very good if you practice all the 10. But I would suggest at least take one of these 10 and start applying in your life. At least one. And you will see the difference in your life.